It was a cold winter evening. Light rain was falling over the city, and people were hurrying along the streets, eager to get back to their homes. Everyone seemed to have somewhere to go, some warmth to return to. Everyone. Except Ion. Ion was sitting alone on an old wooden bench. In his hands, he held a worn-out diary, the only place where he could truly speak. His thoughts, his silence, his loneliness, everything lived inside those pages. His eyes carried a quiet exhaustion, the kind that comes from life itself. He slowly closed the diary and looked up at the sky. Raindrops fell on his face, but he didn't wipe them away. Maybe he didn't feel the difference anymore between rain and tears, between cold weather and the cold inside him. Ion had lost his parents when he was very young, so young that their faces had become blurry memories. He grew up in a shelter home, where he learned one thing very early: if you want to survive, you have to be strong. People often told him, be strong, but no one ever asked him, are you okay? In school, he always sat at the back, not because he wanted to, but because no one ever called him forward. People had their own groups, their own laughter, their own worlds, and Ion existed somewhere outside all of that. His life had become a routine. Wake up, go to work, come back, write in his diary, sleep, repeat. Days passed. Nothing changed. That night, the rain started getting heavier. The cold grew sharper. Ion stood up from the bench and began to walk slowly. He pulled his jacket closer around himself, but the warmth didn't reach deep enough. The cold inside him had settled long ago. As he walked, his eyes caught something in the corner of the street. An old woman. She was sitting on the ground, completely soaked. She had no umbrella, no shelter, no one beside her. People walked past her as if she didn't exist, as if she were invisible. Ion looked at her for a moment, then looked away and kept walking. A voice in his mind whispered, "It's not your problem." But after a few steps, he stopped. Something didn't feel right. He turned back and looked at her again. She was still there, shivering slightly. Slowly, he walked toward the old woman. Without saying a word, he took off his jacket and gently placed it over her shoulders. The woman looked up at him in surprise, as if she couldn't believe someone had stopped. Ion gave a small, soft smile. "You're cold. Please take this," he said quietly. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "My son, you are the first person who stopped," she said in a trembling voice. Those words touched something deep inside Ion. He sat down beside her. For a while, they said nothing. The rain began to slow down, and the silence felt strangely peaceful. The old woman asked gently, "Why do you look so sad?" Ion let out a small laugh. "I don't know. I think I'm just used to it." "No, my son. People don't get used to sadness. They just learn how to stay silent." That sentence went straight into his heart. Ion asked softly, "What's your name?" The woman smiled. "What will you do with my name?" "You can call me Ami if you want." They talked for a long time after that. Small pieces of life, unspoken pain that somehow found its way into words. Ion felt relief. When the rain finally stopped, the woman looked at him and said, "Come here tomorrow. I will tell you a story that will change your life." That night, when he returned home, he opened his diary again. But this time, he didn't write about loneliness. He wrote, "Maybe I'm not as alone as I thought." And for the first time in a long time, he fell asleep with a faint smile. He didn't know it yet. But that small act of kindness was about to change everything.